Hi, we've invited Sharon Kow to do this dialogue at Studio I in Taiping. Thank you, Sharon, for giving I'm an Artist, I Talk Art this opportunity to talk to you about yourself and your art journey. Sharon, what's your genre in art?
I do mainly realism art, like as what you see over here. Some abstract occasionally, but my main genre is still realism art. Perhaps in the future, I may evolve into surrealism. Who knows, right?
Can you elaborate your specialty in art?
I use color pencil, solely color pencil. Something very new. We'll talk more about that later. Yeah.
All right. What's your primary motivation as an artist?
First of all, my motivation for doing art is for myself. So when my daughter was in her final year of high school, I realized that I have to do something for myself. After much consideration, I guess art is the best thing for me because art has been in me since I was a kid, but never got a chance to do it because of my commitment to family and after marriage, raising up my daughter and all these things. So at the age of 42, I started to wonder, what should I do with my life? Let's say one day if I just don't wake up anymore, lying down in my coffin, I answer to myself, what have I done for myself? So that made me realize that I have to do something for myself. That's how I discovered color pencil. So by discovering it, I realized it was such a new medium. Don't say about in Malaysia, but even in the international level. That was way back in 2013. So when I did few research about this medium, I realized there's a huge potential as a medium of art. And then I decided to really pursue this medium and really do my very best, and not as a hobby, but as a career.
What does your work aim to say?
My work is very, what you call, metaphor kind of work. That means to say, my subjects, as you can see here, are normal everyday subject that everyone recognizes. But just not by painting it as a beauty object or subject, but it has to be more than what you see. Some people can relate to it. Everyday life, from no matter what age you are, from a young kid to an old person. Yeah.
What are your biggest influences?
My biggest influences are human nature. People around us can be my friends, my relatives, my parents, my kid, or even strangers. I love, sitting in cafes, looking at people, just trying to build a story in my head about what they've been through or what they're going to go through in their life, so that I implement it into my artwork. To talk is more of a philosophy kind of life. Perhaps it's because of my age. At the age of 50 now, I think I'm much mature, calmer. I think I love to analyze what is life all about and learn from it. So that's how I want to portray my art to the viewers. Make it as a conversation piece rather than just a thing of beauty.
How have you developed your career?
All right, how do I develop? Of course, when I started in 2013, it's unheard of. And to declare myself an artist after probably, let's say, 1 or 2 years, I imagine that time, will be impossible. To approach galleries or to approach some art collectors, it's like, who are you? What do you do? So if I say, I do color pencil art, can you imagine the reaction that I get? Well, actually, I did get quite a few of reaction, disbelief, and probably about maybe you know, like thinking, what is this woman trying to do? Color pencil art, like coloring book, you know. So before I can bring myself or call myself an artist, I have to have a good credential. That means I have to have a good portfolio of work. So I focus and I go international first, because that's where the movement is. Way back in 2013, 2014, it's just a infantry stage. So I joined a few groups on Facebook and get to know that there's an organization that promotes this color pencil art, and I joined as member. So the organization is called Color Pencil Society of America. So from there on, I started to participate in juried exhibition competition, get my work exhibited abroad. Then from there on, you have magazines, art magazines that focus on color pencil art. They publish my work, they did some interviews and so forth and so on. Only after probably about 2 to 3 years, the Malaysian got to know me. So that's how I get to be known locally as a color pencil artist.
This kind of thinking is very common among us Malaysians. I should think that our national media broadcasts like national TV, newspapers, should have more interest into the art industry. How do you see this?
I agree, but before any of us, I'm talking about any artist, doesn't matter what medium you use, any artist for that matter, to be known or to get discovered, you yourself as an artist have to be very disciplined, consistent with your work, confident with your work, you know, and that's how people start to pay attention to you and they follow your growth, you know. So it's a two-way thing. You don't expect people to discover you and sit down and expect the sky to drop on your lap.
How do you think our Malaysian government can help us artists?
Well, basically, I think it has to start from the very bottom, very beginning. That means from kid, you know, parents have to play the role. You know, we are so Asian, don't say Malaysian, Asian are so focused on education, on academic, you know, they lost touch with art, sports, you know, for this matter. I met a lot of young children, which is very sadly so confined in their achievement, you know. I can't blame them. Children is what we know them to be. So the government have to play the role to encourage, you know, art, culture and sports into our education system.
How do you cultivate a collector base?
Well, that will take a long time, especially color pencils. So I do have a few collectors, but they are mainly foreigners. Because you see, they are more open to new things. The local collectors is not, they have this attitude of wait and see. You know, they dare not take the move, they don't make the move. So I don't blame them, you know, that is how we are Asian. So to cultivate the collectors is how you, like I say again, very disciplined, consistent, and be confident with what you do and be very good at what you do. You know, focus and follow through. You know, it's just like how I set up my social media base. When I realized that this is what I want to do, the other way to go around, instead of approaching gallery, which I'm nobody, is to use the social media platform. And by doing so, it's not, I have to be very disciplined. That means to say I don't post nonsense on social media. You know, when it's my art page solely on art and we talk about art. And like every week, I have to post something, whether it's my artwork or art related thing. That way, I realize there's a few collectors of people who are interested in my work. They are actually those like what you call the silent stalker. They tend to see, wait and see whether I'm consistent, whether this lady is serious with her work. Only after a couple of years, when they see I'm consistent, then they approach me and say, look, I like certain piece of yours. Is it up for sale? You know, and so forth. I guess that helps how to cultivate collectors.
How do you navigate the art world?
Consistency, discipline and whatnot. Another thing I like to add, as an artist, you are known to be good with your work. Be humble. There's always others who is better than you and all these things. Be humble. Don't think that you're on top. You're forever on top. That's how you do it. And always keep abreast of what's happening, and always improve yourself. Evolve. Don't be stagnant. Don't be afraid. Go out and give your very best.
What current art world trends are you following?
Well, as you can see from my work and also what I believe, I don't follow any current trend. Well, realism is old school. In the current art scene, it's about it's not even contemporary even. It's more of new movement. I don't even say it's art. It's sad to say. So it's all ever evolving. Art trends. So to me, I don't follow. I stick to what I do best, and perhaps realism will make a comeback. And then with color pencil, perhaps I'm setting a new trend. Possible?